Alright, this is part 3 of the huge scam going around between the physical world and the spirit world. Alright, in the other video, we talked about more different things into more control. More between the physical world and spirit world. And the other thing, more like I was talking about, more like you falling asleep and you more like you seeing that more like that huge sign in front of your face, and you gotta choose from this to that. Yes, this do happen. Now, depending on more like a few things, it will happen to you more like it could be spiritual awakening. Most of the time, that's when it happens. But there are other times as well, depending on a few things, what is going on in your life. So, but yes, if you fall asleep anytime, if you see that, that's what's going on there. And again, more pick the top thing. Yeah, you pick that, and that is the best more like thing you can pick on that actual chart, which that top thing says God. Then it says more like everything that's down below. Never mind other stuff down below. Just pick that. Now, once you're done doing that, it may be happening right then, or the next day, or the day after. Tell me more like when you fall asleep, or they force you to fall asleep. Once you dream more like start, it'd be different between your other dreams, and you will see a man on the right and a man on the left. Now, when it comes down to how more like this is gonna look, it's very highly it's gonna look different on your end. It's not gonna look exactly like this picture here, but it will be more like two more like man or women. It'll be two individual more like there. They want you more to pick between them.
Pick us or pick them.
Yeah, they definitely want you to pick between us or them. Now you see these two more like been going at it for a while, and they dress more like in these colors, and more like determine what you pick, you go with one or the other. Now, when it comes down to who it would be, it's a very highly chance it's gonna be someone you know. It don't mean more like you know them more like as a family member, or more like a friend, or even a close friend. It could be someone, even someone off TV. It would be someone in your vision, that is. Not directly as in your direct circle, as in you directly know them personally, as in y'all buddies, stuff like that. So it could be anyone. It could be literally anyone, whoever more like it would be. It could be them, could be not from them. So definitely more like keep your eyes on whoever it be. Whatever side you pick, they want you to stay on that side, and stay on that side until you are done doing whatever you're doing on this hunk of dirt that we call Earth. Yeah, this thing happened, the ministration happened, and a long list of many other things happen when you lay down and you step into the dreaming category. Now, these are two more like different organizations when it comes down to more like controlling different people into different ways, and depending on what you want, depending on what's going to happen next. But they ain't the only organization out there. There are other ones as well, but these are the most known organizations. So yes, they definitely want you to pick between them for your long journey, whatever y'all do. Now, depending on who you are, more strongly in anything, you already pick one of these sizes already if you're watching this video. But there's a chance you have not more like picked any of these sizes. You have not more like came across none of these things, or the many times more like you fell asleep more like because more like a whole day at work, or you just more like tired for other reasons. Now, come down to which side you should pick whatever you want to pick on this. That first thing, administration, more ways than one, is very important to pick the top thing. When it comes down to this, make your own choice, whatever you really want to pick between these two. But there are other organizations out there beside these. Of course, these more like things that's happening in the spirit world, and as well more like the physical world. So this little thing here, you're gonna want to catch it there. Don't be spitting more like you're walking on the street, riding in your car, or be in the store and see two individuals directly approach you like this. Yes, don't be expecting that. But at the same time, it is a chance. It's a very, 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 very rare chance it happen to you. But based on more like a lot of things, it's not gonna happen. More highly, they're gonna get you more like into the dream category. Now the same thing go with administration thing. More like a lot of people don't want you to know about this information just like this. They want you to know more like a surprise in your face when your guard is down, when you are in your dreaming category. Yeah, your guard is really down in that phase there. So yeah, they like to hit you there. Now once you pick whatever side, and they do got more other things going on when it come down to the dreaming category. Depending on you don't no longer call it a dreaming category. You would call it a dreaming category at first until you see all the other things that can happen around and how it is. Many people say more like the dreaming category, more like you stepping into different worlds. And these different worlds, they basically talk about different people, literally. It's a few other things going on besides that. But besides that, that's mainly what other people are talking about when you look at social media, and they talk about more like you can go from world to world to the next world to the next world. That's mainly what they're talking about on social media and stuff. They ain't gonna directly tell you that, but that's mainly what they're talking about. At least more like well, that's one way to do it. Now these different organizations stuff, they have another thing into the dreaming category. They have something you would not expect it, and you probably say, why did they have that at first? But it's perfect understandable why they had that, going by how different things around the world. And what is that thing I'm talking about? Now this is going to take place in the same place of the other ones. It's going to take place when you're laying down and you're about to fall asleep. And when you fall asleep, just like the other ones, it's not going to feel like your usual dream. This is going to be different. The vibration, the looks, everything gonna be different, because it is different. And what is that? Well, this is what happens. Let's take a look at this video clip here.
Let's review the key points from last night's reading. Pay close attention to these equations.
Now just looking at the video itself, you probably say, I have many dreams like this. More like me falling asleep and I'm in a classroom. But the thing about this classroom is, this is not more like a classroom from your past. This is not more like elementary school. It's not more like middle school. This is not more like a high school, and it's not college neither. This is a completely different, more like school you got here. In these classes here, they be teaching you more like different things about more like this universe, how things work in another point of view, in a spiritual way. They be teaching more like different ways how to control things, do things, even how to more like get your mind and stuff more like set up differently compared to how it was before. And a long list of many other things. They be training you in these classes, and it can go from literally from a whole list of many other things. Plenty of tests they be doing on you, just like a classroom. Plenty in there more like studying as well. And so basically, depending on your age and stuff, you would have more like basically two completely different more like schools. One more like when you wake up from the one from the physical realm, and then more you have more like the other one from the spirit realm, more like them teaching you things from another point of view, different things. They teach you a whole long list of things. And do not think that's where it ends more with that classroom. It goes further than that. You can literally more like walk out of that classroom if you want to. Depending on like a few things, how much self-control you got, you can literally walk out of that classroom and you can see more like the whole schoolyard and everything. A whole lot of different more other students and people you never met before. So it definitely like feel real and more like you move around real, and yes, it's completely different. It's things you never came across before. Now these things don't have no reflection thing more like you have seen on TV as well. So this stuff is really brand new on you directly. So yes, these classes as well more like real classes in the dream category state. So yeah, this is one of the many things other people already talks about, more like these different more like a classroom they got. And these classrooms teach really a lot of different things. Now, how many classes in schools total? Well, no telling how many there are. There are a whole lot of them. So yes. So once you go through the other stuff, don't be surprised you wake up and you're in a classroom. Not a classroom you used to, more like the one you're growing up, but a completely different one. So yes, definitely more like have your eyes open for this thing. It can definitely happen to you. Now, in on classroom, they do be teaching more like control. Different ways to control and be manipulated to others. So they definitely be teaching that as well. Now, when I say they teach you all kinds of things in these classrooms and rooms, I literally mean all kinds of things. Things they will not teach you in the physical world in classroom. Yeah, different things, like literally different things. Now, as well, they would definitely want to put you on different tasks and a little more like missions to complete them things as well when it comes down to these different tasks and stuff. Yeah, it's a long list of many things goes into those. Now, one of the things they teach you more like is completely different between the physical world, but they'll teach you in the spirit world. When you want this state is more, they'll put you in a room, and they be you and a whole lot of other more like males and females, and they are butt naked and they have no clothes on at all, and all of them at one time is doing a whole lot of sexual content in there, a whole lot of in there, and you got to more anticipate as well. Now, depending on more like a few things like your age and a few other things determine if you even gonna pass this test. So yes, that is a test in these classes they got there. Yeah, depending on two things again, your age and a few other things if you're gonna pass this. And I don't mean more like you just go one time. I mean you got to go again and again and again and again. Yeah, I mean more like from one to another. And it's not about more like for more like from you pick this or pick that. It's like a mix of thing there. So it goes on a long time. Penalty is they survive or don't survive. More like doing more like this. But depending on your age, well, you should be okay. But at the same time, you're up there more like an age, you maybe not okay. But I'm not gonna get too much into it, and I'm definitely not going to display more like a video of this for many other reasons. For this, just use your imagination. This is another thing more like they don't directly more like want you to know directly. So depending on what you pick from this thing and that thing, yeah, you will go through that. Of course, one main reason why you go to that is to help you to more like to control others. This as well is another way to more like control sexual control there. Yeah, they do a lot of things more like trying to more like to control other bisexual. So yes, it's a few other things there, but mainly that's the one of the main reason mainly. So yes, there are other things besides that, but yeah. Now went for more like sexual thing, and depending on again a few things what kind of class you're in, they're gonna move you up to more like another type of room, and they're gonna test more like how you is physically. I mean besides sexual. They're gonna more like put you to different more like drilling tests, your speed, your strength, and someone may put you more like how good your imagination is, and more like do you got any type of special abilities when it come down to more like psychic abilities? What do you got anything in there? So there are plenty of other tests out there. So a long list of many other things goes into these school. Yeah, and once you go past there and stuff, they got more other classroom is more into the darker category when they be doing different things out here, more like when it come down to the training thing into your dreaming category. Yeah, these are different more like leads. These are more assassination more like training. So these more the leagues of crickets, more like they are training. Basically, they are assassin, but yes, call them from here leagues of crickets. You heard it right here. So more if you come across more like this in the dream category, you could probably say you're in the leagues of cricket category. So yes, remember that name there. Now, going by the information I came across when it comes down to in there, they do a whole lot of things. I can't go too much detail everything they do in these classes because I have not been in these classes, but I do might have got plenty of stories and a few glimpses here and there. So a lot of stuff do go into these classes here. Yeah, they do a whole lot of things into the leagues of crickets training room, training one person to the next person to be the assassins. Now, besides more like these classes, we got other classes as well doing other things. How to more like to manipulate different things around you. These individuals more like has a special code, just like in a video game. If you remember back in the days, more like on the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 era, more like there was a code book. Well, there are codes to this virtual reality, the one we live into right here. So yes, there are definitely more codes to this universe, showing this is indeed a virtual reality. Things are definitely not the way you see and believe it was over the many years. You living into a definite virtual reality that got codes that can give you a lot of wiggle room to do a lot of things you won't think of right now that is possible, that is possible. So yeah, there's a whole lot of codes. If you know about more that era, it was a whole lot of different codes to so many games. Once they hit more like the PlayStation 3 era, they just tossed them codes away. So there are still some codes to the game, but they ain't the same. They definitely ain't the same. Yeah, they don't got official code books no more to these games. But back then they did have a code book back then. More like you purchase a magazine and the back of it was a code. Now then you can purchase more like the collectible code, which they had a long list of mini games and many different codes. Now, of course, more like me, I had both of those more back in the days. But this is not about me and my video games days. I'm talking about more like what's going on between the physical world and the spirit world. And this definitely more like a code can affect and do into more like the spirit world that would be affected more directly in the actual physical world as well. So there are plenty of codes out there. How many? Well, again, I can't give you a precise number of that, but I will say it's definitely a whole lot of them. So yeah, it's a whole lot of them for real. Now come down to the scam between the physical and the spirit world about that code. Most people around you got a code. Now, I'm not saying 100% every person around you got a code or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 20 or 50 or higher. I'm not saying every person got a code, but most will have this code. And most, one of the things I just said now, knows about these things. But he definitely ain't going to tell you about these things. But right here, I will tell you about these things. What others won't say certain things for whatever reason, and it's a list of different reasons. Those reasons do not more like apply to me. They don't hold me back from saying these things. So yeah, so my stuff is definitely more like different between a whole lot of other people more like on YouTube, especially on this good topic. And there's a whole list of many different codes. Now, just like the rest of more of the things I've been saying here, it's a classroom specially for that too, teaching you about the codes. A class for that. Now again, depending on you all, more highly, you already been to more like these classes before. Or you could be someone never heard of none of this stuff. Now, and I come down to more like, do everyone actually get spiritual awakening, go to more like any of this stuff? No. Some people stay spiritual sleep their entire life. They never wake up. They never find out about this stuff. They go out their whole entire life out learning about this stuff. Like literally, they know nothing about this stuff. So depending on your depending on your age and a few other things, more like you know about this stuff and you don't highly, it's a chance you definitely know about these things I'm talking about. But there's a chance you do not, depending on your age as well. Now, if you're someone up in age, then more like it reduces more highly. You can get spiritual awakening. So you need to really want to do some spiritual work to help you get spiritual awakening. Now, of course, more like there are other cases out there. People are not really spiritual awakened, but they go through these things. So those are two different cases. The one spiritual awakened, they know about these different things, and the one not spiritual awakened, and they go through these things. It's a little different, but it's basically the same stuff. But for the very, very most part, is those who know about this stuff is spiritual awakening for the most part. There are different cases out there when it comes down to these type of things. Now, when it comes down to the school, once you get past more like the room, and the school can be big as I don't know what, big like a huge universal. Don't look like you more like you're in more like a high school. Definitely like you're in a universal. So many people, and when you more like you're into one of these, they don't have to be more like something. Pardon me, there. Don't have to be something more like in your country or state. It can look like it's from a different country or state, or it don't look like nothing is from this actual reality. So it can go more like from it is from this reality, or it's not from this reality, or more like it's from a completely more like a different country. You probably say, what is going on here? And use it more like a checking out things. Now, these things had not started more like today. This stuff here, they haven't started yesterday, haven't started more like last year, or 2 years, or 5 years, or 10 years, or 50 years, or 100 years, or not even 200 years. This stuff been going on for a very, very long time. The things I'm saying, and that and a long list of many other things been going on. A long list of things. Now, just like more like in school, you will have your list of things to do for your homework. So, tell me more like on a few things you maybe get your homework, or you maybe don't get your homework. There are chances more like you could literally more like wake up before the your class is over. This can more like happen at time as well. You wake up before then. So yeah, this can happen, and you can wake up for different reasons. More like you woke up because that's on your end, or that could be on your end. Yeah, you could do certain things in there more like they won't like, and they'll literally kick you out of the classroom. Like literally, you get kicked out, and you up, and you know what just happened there. Now, when you're in these classroom, really more like taking every single droppings second and nanosecond information you can in there. Take every single bit of it. If you somehow be in your classroom, yeah, more like yeah, that's gonna more like help out other things around you. Yeah, for many reasons, just take all that information in. And another thing as well, more like when people want in this state here, they when it come down to these classrooms, some people like today they're in the classroom today, and they could be more like still coming to the classroom, and they could be more like many years. And I don't mean more like 10 years. I mean longer than that. So yeah, some people more like just stays in there for educational purpose. So if you someone like that, well, there you go. So definitely more like taking more like the classrooms and stuff. This just one of the many things are going on between the physical world and the spirit world. Now, on that note, this is directly more like in part 3 of this this video here, between what's really going on, the real truth of the physical world and the spirit world, things and people just don't talk about for many reasons that holds them back to say those things. And those things just do not apply to me. So I will talk about those things and more. So yes. On that directly again, and for more like part 3. If you want to hear more about this, you need more to jump on more to part 4 of this video. So all the rest of y'all want to more like check out part 4, I catch all of y'all on part 4 of this video. Catch y'all over there.